So let's look at what the period kind of does in the place of frequency. So period is like frequency but different. Period tells you how much time it took, whereas frequency is counting how many go by in a certain amount of time, which is the second. So the period is a capital T, and it's measured in seconds. And if we think about the relationship between those, the period is 1 over the frequency. So if the frequency is 1 over the period. So if my wave takes 2 seconds to go by, then the number of waves that I can fit in 1 second is half of a wave. Does that make sense? So if I put 2 seconds right down here, if I put a 2 right here for the number of seconds it takes to go by, then I'll only have 1/2 of a wave in that 1 second period, which should make some sense there. Okay. So when we replace up here in these original 3 questions the frequency with our period, we get some similar looking questions. We get that the wavelength is divided by the period this time, so which makes sense, right? So if we take the frequency, then we'll be dividing it by the period. So that's one of our new equations. And then to find the wavelength, which is the one on the end there, we'll just do the period times the wave speed, and then to find the period, we'll do the wavelength divided by the wave speed, which is kind of the upside down of the wavelength, or the wave speed divided by the wavelength. So we now have a few more equations to work with than we might have had otherwise. But the good news is that you'll have those equations. You can see them right there, okay, on the checkpoint and on the test to work with. And so as long as you can remember what all the letters mean, which I think is a bit easier on this particular checkpoint, then you'll probably be okay.